What's up, boys? Today I've put together for you a presentation on how to transform your social confidence, and it all starts with your mindset. So today we're going to cover the very, very basics of mindset and how to transform it completely. If you've ever felt like your height is holding you back, just like me, then watch the rest of this video because I'm going to share with you the mindset that changed everything for me. So, for many years, I let my height define me, and I believe that being short was the reason I had trouble in social situations, and especially with girls. However, it turned out that that's not true. It was never my height, it was always my mindset. And with a simple change in this mindset, you can change everything about your social life and your dating life. And this presentation will hopefully set the groundwork for you to do that. The myth of limitation. Many short men have this belief where they're constantly at a disadvantage when it comes to dating or getting attention from the opposite sex. And it's a common belief that you'll always struggle in this area. But this is the thing. This belief isn't just harmful. It's a self-imposed glass ceiling that directly affects your behavior and how others perceive you and how you perceive yourself. Think about it. If you walk into a room already believing that you're at a disadvantage, you're not going to stand up straight with your shoulders back. You're going to scuttle in a corner, hold your drink at chest height. You might avoid eye contact. You might speak very quietly and just shrink into the background. And guess what? People will notice that. People will see that. People will pick up on that energy and treat you accordingly. With a victim mentality and victim cycle, which brings you into a corner which you believe that people don't like you, then you project that energy, which makes people not like you. And it becomes this cycle of negative self-belief, but it's a cycle that you can break. And the first step to changing your reality is recognizing that this belief that height determines your worth is a myth, and realizing that your height doesn't define you, your mindset does. When you start seeing yourself differently, the world around you also changes. This isn't about positive thinking. This is about reclaiming the power over yourself and over what you project to the world. Don't let a number define your entire life and personality. You must understand that your thoughts shape your reality. I used to constantly tell myself that I'm not good with girls, and this negative self-talk became my reality. Whenever I approached a girl, I'd expect rejection, and that's exactly what I got. Why? Because that's the mindset that I went into that interaction with. And whenever you enter an interaction with a negative mindset, like I said in the previous slide, people notice that energy and they're instantly repulsed by it. But this is the thing. Imagine telling yourself over and over again that you're not good with girls. Then you start to believe it and you'll start to live by it. You will do things that you, in your subconscious mind, know that girls don't like. And then you become this person, this thing that acts in a way that girls don't like and girls will reject over and over and over again. But this is the thing. What if you actually flip the script and you, instead of telling yourself negative things, like I'm not good with girls, you instead start telling yourself good things, like I am good with girls, or this person likes me. Then you enter the whole situation with a positive mindset, which gets more and more reinforced with every social interaction that you have. Start by identifying your negative self-talk, write it down, and then write something down which actively challenges it. Think about moments in which you succeeded. Here's an example. If you, like me previously, had a negative self-talk that you're not good with girls, then write that down, and below it, write down moments of success. So times which you actually proved that not to be true. I managed to speak to this girl and I didn't get nervous. I managed to speak to this girl and I got a number. I managed to sleep with this girl, and so on and so on and so on. That then gives you a list of proof, a list of wins that you clearly can see on paper from a preferred person view. And you know what you're saying to yourself isn't true because you've got a list of proof that is telling you that it's not true. Remember, what you believe in yourself will manifest in the world around you. Now it's time to use your past successes to fuel your future confidence. When I began this journey, I realized that I had to counteract my negative beliefs by focusing on past wins. So even the small victories, I started making a note of them. It was a mental note at first, and then I made a small journal with things that I was having trouble with. And one of the big things that I overcame was being able to speak to people on the phone in my business. I had a massive trouble of stiffening up, losing my speech, not being able to talk to people on the phone in a professional manner. And so what I did is I started writing down positive and good conversations that I had with people while I was on the phone. So I would write down, for example, I managed to speak to this client and we had an awesome conversation and I closed them on the phone. Or, for example, I spoke with this supplier, I was really confident on the phone and I managed to get a 30% discount on our prices, which makes my business better, and so on and so on and so on. So you start stacking these wins, which constantly show you and give you proof that you are better than you think you are. Here's why this works. When you focus on your wins, you reinforce a more positive self-view, and it doesn't matter how small or big the win is. It matters that there is a win and that you keep stacking on top of it, on top of another one, on top of another one, on top of another one. And these experiences and these wins, when acknowledged and celebrated and read over and over and over again, they continue to build your confidence and shift your mindset. I want to say thank you to Bedros Koulian for showing me this and teaching me this on one of his podcasts, and it absolutely works. Create what he calls a badass list and write down your negative self-belief at the top and then challenge it with wins below that. So I am not able to have professional conversations on the phone. Bang, write that down. Then below that, you start writing down, I had a conversation with the supplier. I had a conversation with this client. I managed to close this client. I managed to do this. I managed to do this. I managed to do this. Then you've got this massive badass list of you being a total badass and the thing that you kept telling yourself you're not actually good at. Then read that. Actually make use of that list and read it on a day-to-day basis, telling yourself, look, I'm great. Look, I'm doing this. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. I'm proud of myself. I'm making wins and I'm stacking on top of these wins. Make that list and trust me, your reality will change. Next, let's put this into action. As I began to shift my mindset, I noticed something incredible, and it was my approach to social situations, especially with girls and in dating. Everything changed. I no longer felt like I needed to prove myself, and I no longer felt shy about situations. I was able to go out, speak to people, not care about my height. I didn't even notice that my height was a thing anymore. I was able to speak to people that were much taller than me. I was able to just be really, really confident in myself and project that confidence to other people. And people noticed that. People took note of that, and then they started noticing me as well. Here's the thing, you need to realize that confidence isn't something you gain from external validation. So no matter how many times I tell you that you are confident and I tell you, look, you're a great man, you're a great woman, you are not going to believe that until you internally change it and until your internal self-belief changes. And the only way that internal self-belief changes is by you telling yourself that. So You need to start telling yourself this and start writing the badass list and start reading it every day and continuously put these good thoughts into your head. And just to show you guys a little proof of something, I wasn't supposed to do this, but I just remember that my document is here next to my bed. This is something I use on a daily basis, and it just says Chico affirmations here, and it's just things that I keep telling myself on a day-to-day basis. I pick like 4 or 5 out of these, and let me just find a couple that I say to myself. For example, this one's great. Abundance is my natural state of being. I feel at ease and comfortable with every moment I experience in life. So, by the time I've said this to myself 100 times, my mind believes that, and it is constantly telling myself that. In the back of my mind, I know that just because I've read it 1,000 times. And when you do the same with your badass list, the exact same thing will happen. Now, I understand that changing your mindset is not an overnight process, and it took me a long time to do this, probably between a year or two, until I actually had a better mindset and I actually started noticing the massive changes. But you will notice small changes in the time being, changes where your friends will perceive you different, your family will perceive you different, and then you start slowly perceiving yourself different. But begin this by practicing this mindset slowly and with baby steps. Don't just go out with arrogance tomorrow. Oh, I'm the biggest, baddest motherfucker, because that's not how this works. And you don't actually have the full set of evidence to prove that. And I just want you guys to remember that confidence isn't about your height. It's about how you carry yourself. It's about changing your mindset, and the world will respond to it. The world will respond to you differently. Your height might be the first thing people notice, but it won't be what they remember. And that's one of my biggest advantages in my business. I actually started using my height to an advantage because I have learned how to deal with people in a professional manner and in a really good way. I'm extremely memorable, and the fact that I'm short is actually very helpful, because I'm the short guy that was really nice to them, that did a great job for them, and now they don't need to remember my name. They now just know me as the short guy who does a great job, who speaks to us greatly, whose communication is great, and now I get to win all of their work in the future. So, if you change your mindset, if you manage to change this thing about you, you're going to experience a massive change in the world. And I wish this for you. I hope you have had some inspiration and have learned something from this video. I'm still learning on how to do all of this, so any feedback down in the comments would absolutely be amazing, and I would greatly appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Keep hustling, my friends.